Hello, everybody! So, today, I am going to be telling you about my custom Destroy monsters. Of course, this is going to be very simplified, so any details are going to be minus a bunch. And, yeah. And this is my custom Destroy monsters, the video I'm making right now. I'm making this because of the rumors of Destroya in a Godzilla vs. Kong post-credit scene. Oh, dear. I'm so pumped for this movie. But, anyway, let's skip on to the Destroy monsters. So, Destroy monsters. Starts out. Flashback to 2019. Godzilla fighting Ghidorah underwater. The oxygen destroyer goes off. A crab underneath the water grows a horn, a pincher on his tail, some arms, and wings. And so a lobster becomes Destroya. And then we have the opening scene, which is opening headlines. What happens is, most of the Titans are resorting to the Hollow Earth and Skull Island, respectively. Kong is now the ruler of the Hollow Earth. New Titan named Titanus Gamera has been discovered near Casa Bravo. A couple new Titans have been found in the Philippines. And Mechagodzilla's remains in Hong Kong have been deserted, and Apex is becoming a mafia, and Mothra has hatched again. This time being Mothra Leo. And so yeah. And so the movie starts off. Madison Russell and Josh Valentine are at school again, and Mark Russell is at a Monarch base with Dr. Chen, Rick Stanton, Admiral Wilcox, and a couple other Monarch employees. They were discussing the newly found Titans, which include Titanus Fenrir, Charybdis, and Gamera. And there's also Poseidon, yeah. And then there's Gamera, Gamera has been found in Casa Bravo. Well, somewhere near Casa Bravo. It's still in the Atlantic Ocean. It's like a couple miles. And there's been a new Mechagodzilla in construction. Monarch was building this Mechagodzilla alongside the one. However, this one has actual Godzilla-looking hands, and he can shoot missiles out of them. He has giant red eyes, which can turn yellow. The red eyes are kind of just a warning system for the Titans. Are intimidations. The intimidation display. He also has orange atomic breath this time. Yeah. This one was actually hidden from the public because they knew that Apex was going to come after the one Mechagodzilla on Skull Island, but they hid this Mechagodzilla in Orlando. Yeah. And then they head to the Monarch facility, Outpost 65, Outpost 65, where Titanus Gamera lies. It's an undersea base, like Casa Bravo, except it's not an oil rig as much as a underwater secret base. It's got a helipad, a submarine dispatch, and yeah. There's a couple entrances, but it's mostly just underwater. There's a boat dock. Yeah. Titanus Gamera is in a shell under the ocean, but soon they have bigger problems. They find another Titan inside of inside the Mexican islands, well, Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico. Inside the Gulf of Mexico. They couldn't get a good look at it, but from what they got out of it, red skin, over 400 feet tall. It's clearly an aquatic monster. 500 feet in length. And, well, 600 feet in length. Over 400 feet in height. And they didn't see anything else. But this Titan that they found, they don't really know what to call it because they didn't get a good look at it. For now they're just calling it the Monster of Gulf of Mexico. But they have bigger problems. Apex is being secretive, as if they're doing something. And now, getting back to the kids, Madison Russell is coming home to Mark Russell's house. Is coming home to her dad's house. And she starts watching TV. And there are warning systems about a bunch of Titans waking up. The Muto on Skull Island. A bunch of skull crawlers. Tiamat. Typhon, Sekhmet, etc. She warns her dad, and her dad starts wondering. And he comes to the conclusion that there's another monster out there, whether it be another Ghidorah or just a monster. So this new monster that they found under the water, they thought might be responsible for it, when suddenly a giant crustacean monster comes up and sinks Castle Bravo. All the plot-armored employees manage to get out of there alive. Admiral Wilcox, Rick Stanton, Dr. Ling, and all the other scientists from King of the Monsters make it out. But the monster, they decided to give it the name Titanus Destroya. They destroy... You know, forget it. Just destroy it. They gave it that name because, well, they don't know. But they figured things like that are like... Never mind. But they managed to shoot some blood out of him, and so they did some DNA tests. And he has micro-oxygen inside of his body. Which they come to the conclusion this thing was created by the Oxygen Destroyer. How? Well, that still remains a mystery to Monarch. Because the Oxygen Destroyer killed everything. So why would a random crab live through it? But Godzilla gets his first fight with Destroya in the ocean. Destroya flies out into the clouds. Godzilla almost knocked out. So Godzilla starts seeking help. He went after some of the Titans. The Muto, which that didn't go well. He woke up Rodan. Rodan decided to help him. But Mothra didn't need any convincing. She's literally the guardian of the Earth. And, well, a couple other Titans were a bit harder to convince. Godzilla went down into the Hollow Earth to try and convince Kong. That resulted in Godzilla vs. Kong Round 3, which he finally got Kong to help him. And then he tried to convince Gamera, waking him up under the ocean, which that worked. So Godzilla's team, Rodan, Godzilla, Mothra, Kong, and Gamera. And so they follow Destroya around for a while. They each take turns at Destroya. Monarch is still trying to figure out what the heck this thing is. But by looking at its X-ray, it appears to be some sort of crustacean. It has an exoskeleton. When they use their X-ray to look at it, the shape of the Titan is what came out, not what it looks like inside. So they came to the conclusion it was a crab. So all the monsters took turns at Destroya, which Rodan got submerged in the ocean and nearly died, but being in the water for too long was bad for Rodan, so he convinced Godzilla to send him back to Fiji. That was kind of just an excuse I made up to get Rodan out of the team, because we only need these four for the final battle. So what happens is Monarch starts fighting Apex as Godzilla heads at Destroya in New Orleans. Alan Jonah comes around. Okay, I forgot a key detail. Oh, dang it, I forgot a lot of key details. Okay, so Ford Brody is now a part of Monarch. Well, he's a Monarch military man. He's a part of G-Team. Sam, his son, sits on the TV all day watching the downloaded files from Monarch that Ford has, because now that Ford is a part of Monarch, he has access to all their files, so Sam is just watching them all day. And so Sam Brody and Madison Russell are in New Orleans, and they use the Orca that was inside of Mechagodzilla to bring them to New Orleans. Destroya soon came around. Madison got Sam to stop so he could stop driving so she could throw it out the window. And then Godzilla soon came around, and they started fighting each other in New Orleans. And when it looked really bad and they had lost all hope, Kong came through the Hollow Earth with his battle axe. Gamera has kind of a reference to his flying abilities, but he doesn't fly in this. He has a reference. He's curled up in his shell and he shoots his fire breath to get onto land, and then he outstretches his arms and legs, And Mothra comes down with her God rays blowing away the storm to reveal a bunch of Monarch carriers and destroyers around. Even the Argo is back. Sam Coleman and all the other Monarch employees from the previous movie that are still alive. I'm not going to quote any of them because they all could die. Most of them could die in Godzilla vs. Kong. A part of the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer looked like Nathan Lind was dying, but I don't know. So, Godzilla, Kong, Mothra, and Gamera all headed to Destroya and Godzilla's knocked out, so yeah. Well, Godzilla can't charge at him because he's knocked out. But Mothra's not really in the fight. She's bringing Godzilla nuclear canisters. A bunch of them. She's going to need thousands of nuclear canisters to get Godzilla working. So then she finds out this isn't doing the trick, so she brings a whole nuclear reactor to him. And Godzilla absorbs the radiation, and Mothra gets back in the fight. Kong gets shoved into a building. Gamera shoots fire at Destroya. And Destroya uses his micro-oxygen and shoots it at Mothra. Now, the micro-oxygen doesn't joke with this. Unlike the original where he could shoot his micro-oxygen beam, it wouldn't phase Godzilla at all. This is literal micro-oxygen. It'll drain the oxygen from the Titans. So he shoots it at Mothra, and Mothra has to fall on the ground for a while to regain her oxygen. And Destroyer's about to finish off Mothra when Godzilla steps in. Back glowing red. Now at this point, I'm pretty positive that they're going to use the spiral ray in Godzilla vs. Kong. But Dad, I mean, what? But YouTube, you don't want to bombard everything into Godzilla vs. Kong if you want a future of the Monsterverse. If you want a future to the Monsterverse, you don't want to bombard everything into this. So I would save them. I would only give Godzilla a blue nuclear pulse. That's all I would give him. But Hollywood, being Hollywood, would do everything for this movie since it's probably the finale of the Monsterverse. I wouldn't doubt that it is, but it's worth a shot. So Godzilla would surge up his infinite heat ray. Why not? We would have a relash of burning Godzilla. Godzilla would start to sparkle red as he shoots his infinite heat ray, which would destroy his chest. And Mothra would absorb some of the radiation too, so she could get up again. Kong is kind of staying out of the way. Gamera is helping Godzilla out. And Mechagodzilla was there too. Mechagodzilla wasn't a crucial part of the final battle though. Mechagodzilla was brought in on a carrier. Destroyer finished him off pretty quickly. He started shooting his finger missiles and Destroyer sliced his arm off and threw him into a building. But as far as the finale goes, Godzilla starts shooting his infinite heat ray at Destroyer, melting his horn, melting one of his wings, and soon blowing him up entirely. Kong jumps behind a building using his axe and holding himself up with one of his arms in his axe. Mothra flies behind a building. Gamera hides in his shell and Godzilla just stands there. And then Godzilla steps on Destroya triumphantly, Destroya's dead corpse and triumphantly, and looks at all the Titans around, which includes Rodan, the Muto, Tiamat, I don't know, just Titans, Behemoth maybe. Kong astonishingly bows to Godzilla. Gamera bows. Mothra flies behind Godzilla and uses her God Rays. And Godzilla roars while shooting his atomic breath into the sky, melting away all the clouds. Mothra kind of helped with that, though. And then, well, it's Destroy All Monsters. No post-credit scene, just Destroy All Monsters. So, tell me what you thought of my scenario, and is there anything that you didn't like about it, or that you think I should change? Tell me in the comments. Give your honest opinion about it. Yeah. So, bye guys.